Shavkat Rakhmonov. That man gives me chills.
With 8 brutal knockouts, 9 crafty submissions, and an undefeated record of 17-0.
There's the tap. Wow, Shavkat Rakhmonov.
With none of those unlucky fellas surviving to tell the tale of the final bell, Shavkat Rakhmonov is not the kind of guy who likes to take prisoners.
Oh, he seems to stiffen up there. He's out.
Standing between him and the title shot is the karate virtuoso Stephen Thompson, who will be the toughest challenge of the Nomad's career. It's time to recall Shavkat's journey and discuss what the future holds for the brightest prospect of the UFC's welterweight division. Emerging on the big stage, at 16, Shavkat and his family moved to Karaganda, Kazakhstan, chasing better times. Money was tight, so Shavkat rolled up his sleeves and took up a gig as a truck and warehouse loader. Yep, you heard it right. Loading trucks was his secret recipe for building muscles, the kind that comes in handy when you're in the UFC knocking people out. While most of us were figuring out high school, Shavkat was lifting weights and learning combat sambo at local sports clubs. Who knew those warehouse days would be the unspoken training ground for a future UFC star? By training combat sambo, Rakhmonov developed into a well-rounded martial artist who knocked adversaries on the feet and submitted them on the ground. From 2014 to 2018, the Nomad snatched 10 souls before he was set to fight Danila Prikaza for the M1 welterweight belt. The Kazakh fighter showcased the beauty of sambo by taking the opponent down and raining down punishment until the referee told him not to. In the first title defense against Tiago Verajao, the ground and pound was again on the menu, and the referee jumped in to prevent the opponent from being sent to an emergency room. By earning 12 wins, all of them finishes, the UFC could not ignore such a talent and decided to sign the Kazakh sensation to the organization, climbing up to the top of the UFC's food chain. On October 24, 2020, Shavkat jumped into the UFC octagon for the first time, going head-to-head with the seasoned UFC vet Alex Oliveira. Shavkat totally owned the fight and snagged a win with a slick guillotine choke in the first round. Talk about making an entrance. Next up was Michel Prazeres, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt with a killer record of 26-3. Prazeres was all about those grappling skills and powerful leg kicks, but Shavkat kept his cool, outsmarted the guy, and sealed the deal with a rear naked choke in the second round. Total resilience under pressure, but the Nomad knows how to handle business. Then came Carlston Harris, a versatile fighter racking up wins with both submissions and knockouts. Shavkat threw down a statement move with a crazy spinning heel kick, knocking Harris to the ground and finishing off with some solid strikes. That killer performance earned Shavkat a well-deserved Performance of the Night bonus. Feeling pretty darn confident, Shavkat stepped up to face Neil Magny, who's got some serious wrestling and grappling chops. People thought it'd be a tough test, but Shavkat had his own agenda that night. He wrapped it up with a guillotine choke in the second round, snagging another Performance of the Night bonus. By bulldozing through opposition effortlessly, Shavkat put his name on the map and now was established among the UFC's elites. When someone brought up the idea of Rakhmonov facing off against some of the heavy hitters in combat sports today, he didn't bat an eye. A reporter tossed the question at Rakhmonov, asking if he thought he could take on big names like Kamaru Usman, Khamzat Chimaev, Leon Edwards, and even Tyson Fury. With a straight face, the Kazakh fighter gave a no-nonsense reply and said, yes. This did not go unnoticed and came to Khamzat Chimaev's attention, who simply replied with a smile emoji. Just imagine what a fighting spectacle a bout between Chimaev and Rakhmonov would be. Two undefeated prospects putting their unbeaten records on the line. The two continued their beef when Shavkat openly stated that he was not impressed with Khamzat's skills, to which the Chechen Russian replied, "Who the hell is that chump?" The idea of these two locking horns in the octagon is fantastic, but you would agree that it's too premature to put them in the cage just now. Imagine the hype when one becomes a champion and the other challenges him for the belt. Well, that's the pay-per-view I would pay for. This wasn't the first time Shavkat Rakhmonov had a situation with an undefeated prospect like him. The rumor has it that he knocked Ian Machado Gary in sparring. Ian Gary is one of the most beloved fighters. Just kidding, nobody likes him. And this news has aged well, considering how unlikable the Irishman has become. The former UFC competitor Josh Thompson spilled the beans about Ian Gary's sparring sessions with fellow UFC welterweight contender Shavkat Rakhmonov. These two undefeated prospects trained together at Kill Cliff FC, and this is what Thompson had to say about Gary's impressive win at UFC 292 in a recent episode of the Weighing In podcast. I'm going to tell you right now, they train in the same gym, Gary and Shavkat, and I would love to tell you how that sparring goes, but I can't. But I know exactly how it goes. So Ian Gary, get your mind right, buddy. Well, maybe Shavkat Rakhmonov is 18-0 after all, and Ian's 0 is no more, but what happens in the gym stays in the gym. On March 4th, 2023, the Nomad squared off against Jeff Neal, a dangerous finisher with a serious knockout power in his hands. Jeff missed weight by 4 pounds, and despite looking bulked and having a weight advantage, Shavkat remained unfazed. Rakhmonov took control of the octagon from the start, trading punches with Jeff's high-level boxing. Even when Jeff landed some solid hits, Shavkat stayed composed like it was just a sparring session. In the third round, Shavkat landed a spinning heel kick, and although Jeff retaliated with a powerful combo, the Nomad kept pressing and punishing with knees. As the fight neared its end, Rakhmonov closed the show by securing a standing rear naked choke position, forcing Jeff to tap. This victory catapulted Shavkat into the title picture, and the guy who will try to prevent the Kazakh from achieving his goal is the battle-tested vet Stephen Thompson. Suppose Rakhmonov wins this, especially via a finish. In that case, we might be looking at the next title challenger and a future dominant champion that would rule the UFC welterweight division for the years to come. Thanks for tuning in to today's video featuring Shavkat Rakhmonov. If you enjoyed watching and want more content like this, why not show some love with a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button? Join us on our journey to 10,000 subscribers. Remember, each subscription brings us one step closer to our goal. Let's do this together.